listening to DC Comics Rush Hour, a podcast for DC Comics fans by a DC Comics fan. Good morning, and thank you for joining me on my ride into work, rush hour and all. Since I got behind this week because I've taken a day off, and I'm not going to have time to spread all the shows out, I'm going to cover both Flash and Legends of Tomorrow today. Alright, so last night I watched both of them back to back, and just like with Supergirl, we talked about yesterday, Flash, while I thought Flash's first episode was really good, not as low, not as off from the previous season as Supergirl had been. Just like Supergirl, its second episode was really back and really fantastic. Whereas Supergirl, I gave 3.5 to 4 stars, or 3.5 to 4 capes, or S shields, or whatever you want to call it. The only thing I dinged it for was, as I talked about, the use of the villain and how they ignored her powers to extend the episode out. Flash, I thought the first half hour of it, 20 minutes to half hour, was absolutely hilarious. I don't think they meant for it to be a comedy episode, but they put most of the humor in that first half, and there was still humor in the second half, but the bulk of it was in the first, and I found myself laughing out loud a number of times. The whole gang is back working together. It was just so much fun. The villain this time, it's not, I don't think it's going to be a throwaway villain based on the way things ended. So I should say, spoiler alert, before I get any further along. So the villain is Kilgore, and he controls machinery, computers, electronics, that type of thing. And he's killing people throughout, or trying to kill people throughout the episode who did him wrong, and that's, well, it sounds like that should be the A story. Really, to me, it felt like the A story was Barry and Iris figuring out how to work together, their new dynamic, and really Barry being back on the team. Probably the producers and all would say that Kilgore part was the A story, Barry and Iris were the B, and Vibe and Gypsy were the C story. The Vibe and Gypsy stuff was wonderful. I think schmoopy was the phrase. If I can check, but I think schmoopy is our new phrase here. Again, loved it. Once again, like with Supergirl, they did fail to fully utilize Flash's powers, but not to the extreme. They basically showed Flash doing what he always does, zipping in and taking a moment to talk before taking down the bad guy. Never a good idea. Just it isn't. Use your powers to stop the bad guy and then talk to them. But he only did it once. Unfortunately, that once let the bad guy take over his brand new suit, a la Spider-Man Homecoming, with tons of electronics in it, tons of enhancements, some of which make sense, some of which don't. It was fun to watch that. I mean, that was absolutely hilarious and fun to watch. That part really worked, so I was okay with it. And when Barry managed to get everything back under control and zip back in, the second time, he did exactly what he should have done the first time, which was take out the bad guy instantly. So they learned, and he learned, so I'm not going to ding them on that. Maybe a 0.1 there or something. But I thought this one was absolutely a fantastic episode. If the villain had more character and charisma, I would probably give him slightly higher rating than what I will. It's at least 4 lightning bolts. Again, if you had a stronger villain, and I don't mean stronger as in strength, but stronger as in just fun on-screen personality, kind of like Sai was in Supergirl. Sai was fantastic on screen. I think the actress did an incredible job, and they wrote her well. If Kilgore had that, this would get at least 4.5. But we'll go with 4 lightning bolts for this week. That's a nice, solid rating. There was some hints as to what's coming. and a nice little thing from the Thinker at the very end, where by the way, he is creepy. They're doing a good job with him of being the creepy villain in the lair, and his voice and the way he speaks and everything works very well. I don't know, something about it. I like the Thinker, I really do. And I don't know if we're supposed to take his computer screen literally, but they talked about how they had found one of them, and he showed Kilgore on screen, and that he'd be ready for whatever was next. And the Thinker's response was, now we have to find the others. And on screen there were 12 boxes. The screen kind of zoomed out and filled in 12 boxes, one of which had a video stream of Kilgore, the other 11 of which were gray, blank, waiting for a plug-in. That's what it looked like. It looked like you're in a browser and the plug-in hadn't loaded or was broken or something. It's fine. That works. There's 11, at least it looked like from that, if we're supposed to take it literally, there's at least 11 more of these villains out there. And they seem to make it a big deal out of the fact that they still believe the only way metahumans exist is if they were created by the reactor accident. I thought we had already established that there were other ones from other methods, and I don't know. But, okay, fine. We get a nice little tease that something happened to Kilgore, and there are others. So, we'll find out what that is. We'll find out what's going on. Loved it. Looking forward to next week. So, going to move on to Legends. Legends of Tomorrow. So, it had the absolute strongest opening episode of all the shows. And after coming off of the first half hour of Flash being so hilarious, I'll admit this one didn't feel as good as the first episode. It was a very good episode. Solid, no problems. The humor wasn't as laugh out loud funny as the first episode or as the Flash, and watching it back to back with the Flash kind of hurt it slightly. But other than that, it was very solid. Having P.T. Barnum in there, played by Billy Zane, was a nice touch. We got a lot of nods and inside jokes and such. They talk about the Titanic and other things, and Professor Stein is the one who says, the Titanic, no, how could we ever go there, and so on, with the actor, Peter Garber having been in Titanic, and Billy Zane having been there. We had a nice little reunion. That was kind of cool. We got Moana Beast, sort of. We saw a guy in the circus in the Moana Beast costume. He punches out, a couple people a couple times, but we don't really get Moana Beast. We just get the costume, and that's, for Moana Beast, that is more than enough. I don't think we need anything else. We do get Mari back. We get, not Mari, sorry. We get Anaya back. Amaya. I can't even say the words right this morning. We get Amaya back. Vixen, Mari being her ancestor. Actually, we do get Mari back briefly in a television background thing. And we find out why Vixen left the show, or why she left Nate previously. It's all to do with, she knows that she has to have a daughter and then the granddaughter, and that granddaughter grows up to save lots of people and be wonderful and so on. But if she never goes back to 1942, that can never happen. And she even talks to Rip, and we don't see this part, she's relating this part of the story, but she talks to Rip, and Rip says the only reason it hasn't happened yet is time is not solidified, but if she stays there too long in 2017, that her ancestors will fade from existence and so on. I understand her need to want to go on. She should have talked to Nate. And if it had not just come on the heels of the Flash, I'd say, they could have used the excuse, I was afraid I wouldn't be strong enough. If I talked to you, you'd want me to stay, and I couldn't say no. Which is what Barry said to Iris about going into the Speed Force in the season finale. And I know I kind of bypassed the whole Barry and Iris therapy and all that. That's okay. I'm going to say it was fun. It was good to watch it, enjoy. Back to Legends. The team definitely got split up into smaller team mode, figuring out their different pairings, what works and what doesn't. You had some great bar scenes. You had hunting down saber-toothed tiger scenes. Mick being afraid of clowns with a little nod to it was a nice touch. Somewhere in there you had in the background what looked like the Flying Graysons, which, I mean, obviously it's not Dick Grayson and all the rest, just a little nod. So you get lots of nods to other stuff, some more prevalent than others, but it was just overall a good, solid, fun episode without a whole lot of importance to it, I guess. I mean, importance meaning it was not a gigantic story, not a gigantic villain, but they even said that at the beginning. They wanted to have a low-level, easy mission to show the Time Bureau that they can handle things. So they picked a level 1, which they escalated throughout the course of the episode up to like a level 8. But that's okay. It's, in the end, it was meant to be just a normal mission to kind of set the groundwork for how the rest of the episodes will go, and it did that. The ending. That's what. Before I say the ending, we once again are reminded that there's a bad guy out there somewhere. They don't say the name just yet. It comes up later, but Rip said it last week. Wallace or something like that. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Wallace. We don't know what he, she, it is, but it's the bad person, the bad thing, the bad guy, the bad girl, the bad whatever. That's who they'll eventually have to face. We don't know anything about. I'm just going to say him for now as generic. We don't know anything about him, but okay, cool. We know that Rip has confided, and well, of course we saw it last time, he confided in his right-hand woman there that's what he's hoping, is that they can take care of Wallace and they can be the chainsaw, as he put it last week. Great. But we don't know anything about him until the post-credit scene. I got so excited when the post-credit scene came up because we're talking about a time travel story, and time travel heroes, and time travel villains, and all of that. And we see it's an outdoor scene near a lake in the trees, and a robed figure in what looks to be sort of a dark to purplish robe comes striding forward in a pose that is meant to scream Time Trapper, even if all it is a nod and not that Wallace is going to turn out to be the Time Trapper. I could not believe that they were doing it. And with the Legion going to be appearing over on Supergirl, this has a lot of potential. So I'm hoping it's the Time Trapper. I'm hoping that's where they're going with it. It turns out that the robed figure was a follower of Wallace. I don't know. I'm excited about that part. We'll have to see where they go with it. That alone bumped the episode up in wonderfulness to me. I know that shouldn't be enough to do it, one little glimpse, but it's the Legion, so I gotta go there with that. So overall, solid. I think I said I gave the Flash 4 lightning bolts. The Legends, while it was not as laugh out loud or anything else, it was a good, solid episode. I would feel guilty giving anything less than 4. I don't know what's a good thing. I mean, other than 4 stars, that just doesn't work. 4 time bubbles. We'll give it 4 time bubbles. I could see giving it a 3.5 for being just good, solid, average. I could see saying 3.5. So we'll say it was a 3.5 to 4. Either way, we're good, and maybe we have the Legion even coming there or connection to them. We'll have to wait and see. So I have pulled into a parking space in the garage. My morning drive is over. Thank you for joining me. This has been John Paul from the Old Titans and DC Comics Rush Hour. Long live the Legion.